Hello. Hello. Good morning, one and all. Gathered in this live streaming of ecosystem services, and we are so happy to be to conduct this of webinar series on ecosystem services and management.
Shalil Irderaj, kindly mute your audio and video.
Thank you, dear participants, for to have see many of you have posted like thank you for resolving the audio issues, and we have to say thank you for reasons that happened that you are followed on yesterday's.
Please kindly
Thank you
your
so much
audio.
for everything. And from today onwards, there will not be any audio issues, and we'll stream as much as possible. We'll try our best always. Thank you so much. The session is we started. This is my privilege to host be a host in this YouTube live streaming program. And now I hand over the session to Dr. N. Basu, the organizing secretary for webinars on ecosystem services and management. Let's have a look at inside the session. Thanks. Dear YouTube live streaming participants, the session is going to be started soon. Our invited guest lecturer, Dr. N. Kamaladasan, is going to present soon. In the meantime, there will be a post in the live chat box as well as in the comment box in the provided in the video, where you can put your attendance by using the link which will be provided by the organizers soon. And you can also interact with the invited guest lecturer Dr. N. Kamaladasan through your live chat text messages. Our moderator will raise the question on behalf of you. Thank you so much. We are extremely sorry about the whatever the things that happened in yesterday's program. It was a preliminary stage for us to conduct this kind of webinar, so there will be a lot of issues happened yesterday. So thank you for your patience, and today all the problems has been rectified, and today we get a clear cut audio and video through the live streaming, and the same is recorded in the HD mode 1080p, and later they will be uploaded in the same channel where you are having live streaming. Thanks a lot.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the organizing committee of this webinar series, and on behalf of the convener, Dr. Ramesh, head Department of Botany, Allahabad University, and as organizing secretary, I am privileged to welcome all for this second day in this webinar series on ecosystem services and management. And today we are having a speaker, Dr. N. Kamaladasan. He has to present in his talk in the title of Impact of Biological Invasions and its Consequences on Ecosystem Services. So with the permission of the convener of this webinar, may I introduce Dr. N. Kamaladasan, sir? Okay, let me introduce Dr. N. Kamaladasan.
You cannot hear.
Oh, okay, thank you, sir.
Okay.
And with the permission of the convener, I am introducing Dr. N. Kamaladasan. He is the teaching faculty at Department of Botany, Allahabad University, Karaikudi. He has 8 years of research experience and having 2 years of teaching experience, and he has published more than 10 peer-reviewed more than 10 research articles in peer-reviewed journals, and he has contributed to 2 chapters published in books, and he has published 3 full-length papers in proceedings, and his title of PhD work is Studies on the Influence of Various Hydrophytes on Composition of Mosquito Vector Population in River Basin of Tamil Nadu, South India, under the guidance of Dr. S. Chandrasekharan, who is currently as professor and head of Department of Plant Sciences, School of Biological Sciences, Madurai Kamaraj University. And he has attained, he has received 3 fellowships, UGC Meritorious Fellowships, and also ICMR sponsored JRF SRF fellowship. He has proposed a new hypothesis regarding biological invasion and found a new pathway for exotic species introduction. And several of his research publication has attained interest in the news columns. And on behalf of, with this brief introduction, on behalf of the organizing committee, on behalf of the convener, I am inviting Dr. N. Kamaladasan to present his talk. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So, shall I start?
Yeah, please.
I would like to thank Honorable Vice Chancellor of Allahabad University and Dr. M. Ramesh, the convener, and Dr. M. Jothi, Basu, organizer, for this valuable and useful opportunity to convey our research to the society through this webinar series on ecosystem services and management. Once again, I would like to thank Dr. Jothi Basu for the nice introduction about me. So, okay, now I am going to share my presentation slides to all the participants. So, okay, so can you hear my voice? My voice is audible?
Yes, it's audible. Please continue.
Yeah, can you see my presentation slides? Hello?
Yes, visible.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay, I will continue. No problem. Thank you so much. Very good morning to respected professors from various universities and colleges, scientists from various institutions, research scholar, and dear students from various places in India. I am Dr. N. Kamaladasan, working as a teacher assistant in the Department of Plant Science, Allahabad University. Here I am going to give a lecture entitled Impact of Biological Invasion and its Consequences on Ecosystem Services. Before my presentation, I would like to thank my mentor, my guide, Professor H. Chandrasekhar, head of the Department of Plant Science, School of Biological Science, Madurai Kamaraj University. He is a voracious field visitor, always teach the basic concept in invasion ecology to his students under the field condition, majority of times. He made me a resource person. Right now I am here. Without you, it is not possible, sir. Thank you for giving this life, sir. With your blessing, I am going to start my first presentation in my academic career through this webinar series on ecosystem service and management. Okay, let's see what are an invasive species is a species which has been introduced into a new area out of its natural range. Serious economical and public health problems where within the habitat as its population grows. This is called invasive maybe belongs to any taxonomical group with mammals. So with mammals, reptiles, birds, amphibians, plants, invertebrate, fish, and viruses, all having an invasive population around the world. On global basis, there are two great destroyers of biodiversity. First one is habitat destruction, and the second one is exotic species. Invasive species can all ecological success communities because they are often that initiate the secondary ecological success and as a result altering the climax community in an ecosystem. Extinction of species around the world can be contributed by the negative effect of this invasive species. So this slide shows for the example of plants. This is a climber. This climber was completely infested with the dense forest and altered the climax community in an ecosystem. Likewise, this is also Pterygopilis pardalis is one of the aquatic invasive species we are going to see on later. Slide shows the steps of invasion process. Mainly, there are 4 steps. First one is introduction, second one is naturalization, third one is spread, and fourth one is invasion. Let's see one by one. So this is called the process of biological invasion. Let's see what is introduction. Introduction of exotic or alien species into a new habitat, range, or area outside its natural range called what? Invasion. See, that is called what? That is called introduction. So after introduction, the invader may persist. The invader may persist and reproduce successfully until they establish their self-sustained population. This is called what? Naturalization. This process is called what? Naturalization. After naturalized population will multiple across the ecosystem. That is called what? Spread. This phase is called what? Explosion phase. This explosion phase may happen after the considerable lag phase. So this stage is called what? Spread. So the final stage is invasion. Once the population start increasing, the impact will be rapidly become apparent. Following explosion phase, the growth level out as the population reach the carrying capacity of the ecosystem. So this is called what? Steps of the invasion process. So this slide shows the pathway of biological invasion. Mainly there are 2 pathways are there. One is intentional pathway, another one is called unintentional pathway. Intentional in the sense for the purpose or for the act. Purpose, they will have introduced some of the exotic species. For example, Eichhornia crassibus is one of the aquatic most invasive species in throughout the world. That species mainly introduced for ornamental purpose. Now, this Eichhornia crassibus completely infested the entire freshwater ecosystem in throughout the world. So this is called what? Intentional species. So the another one is called unintentional pathway. Again, it's having one is through vector. For For example, mosquito species, Aedes aegypti and Culex infestatus. These two are the invasive species for our nation. While it introduced, it also carrying some pathogenic or agents like virus, dengue, chikungunya. These are all the virus can able to enter through the Aedes aegypti mosquitoes. So in this type, the exotic organism can be enter into the other new place through some methods. And another one is called dispersal method. Some species can able to escape from their original habitat to into new area through their dispersal mechanisms. Example, wing-seeded plants. The wing-seeded plants can able to reach the long distance, and it can able to establish the population into new area. So it is one of the method for introduce the new species. So these are all coming at a natural way, natural method, right? Another one is called introduction of migratory birds. So the migratory birds can able to introduce the seeds into the new area. So this is called coming under dispersal mechanisms. So this slide clearly shows the phases of invasion and associated control strategies. Some species shows no lag phase. Immediately it will spread rapidly and reach the established population. But on another hand, many invasive species have a lag phase, during which they occur at very low density and their impacts are not noticeable. The duration of this lag phase is vary depends upon the species and their surrounding environment. For example, it may be only a few months or it may be as long as centuries. Once the population start increasing, the impact will be rapidly apparent. The following explosion phases, the out as the population reach the carrying capacity of the environment. So this is the phases of invasion. The phases associated with the control strategies are there. So the prevention, before introduction, then only we can control the invasive species. Once the population can enter the ecosystem, we need to yearly detection rapid response is possible only at the lag phase. Once the invasive species cross the lag phase, it can able to establish their population where we can only control strategy. Once the naturalized population became invasive, there is no way. Still now, we cannot control even a single invasive species. So this slides clearly the phases of invasion and associated control. So invasive species cause various impact on ecosystem via ecological, economical, and human health. So let's say, if you example I have mentioned here, ecological impact of IAS is placing ecosystems, environmental conditions, disturbing ecological process, altering the food web and nutrient cycle. These are all the huge impact caused by the biological invasive species when introduced into the region. So another one is called the economic impact of IAS, the direct loss of crops to introduce the crop waste. The reduction of agricultural costs due to invading the cross species, the impact of fisheries and aquaculture, especially invasion of algal bloom species, and the cost of the producing and using the chemical medicines to deal with mainly IAS species. These are all coming in economic impact of IAS. And another one is called the human health impact of IAS. The infectious disease agent may terms of the invasive alien species, or the agent may be introduced by invasive alien species. The pollen allergy with the symptoms ranging from the fever to asthma caused by the ragweeds. So in this slide, we concentrate only on ecological impact of the invasive alien species in our ecosystem. So this slide shows the evident data for economical losses to introduce the pest in various countries, which including India. So for the management of introducing pest, India almost $91.02 billion per year. Our country spent more money when compared to other rest of the countries, as per this data reported by Pimentel et al. 2000. So based on this, it seems to that our economy is highly influenced by invasive alien species in our nation. So let's see what is ecosystem. So ecosystem service are the benefit provided by ecosystem that contribute to making human life both possible and worth living.
Sorry to interrupt, Dr. Ramesh. Because
Yes.
please reduce the speed of the fan. It interrupts the voice of your presentation.
Yeah, sure, sir. Okay, okay, sir.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay, sir. Yeah, it shows the ecosystem services. So what is ecosystem services? Ecosystem services are the benefits provided by the ecosystem that contribute to making human life both possible and worth living. So the ecosystem service can be grouped into four categories. First one is provisioning service, second one is regulating service, and third one is supporting service, and fourth one is cultural service. Let's see one by one. What is provisional service? That is the product obtained from the ecosystem. The best example is food, fiber, fresh water, etc. Food, for example, we can consume fish as a protein source, right? That fish can easily obtain from the freshwater or marine water ecosystems. So that is coming under the provisional service. Again, the second one is regulating service. The benefits obtained from the regulation of the ecosystem process. For example, pollination. After the pollination, the plant can able to produce the food. We can consume food as a food, right? So the regulating service is essential for the provisional service, right? Then third one is supporting service. Some services that are very essential for the production of all other ecosystem. For example, soil formation and the nutrient and water cycling and primary production. So this supporting service is very essential for all other services in an ecosystem. For example, the help of this primary production, the plant can able to produce the energy. With this energy, the plant can able to produce more number of seeds and all those things. So therefore, the supporting service is very essential component for the other ecosystem services like regulating, supporting, and cultural services. And the last one is the cultural service. Cultural service in the sense the non-material benefits people obtain from the ecosystem. The best example is ecotourism and aesthetic experiences. But over the last few decades, ecosystem has been highly modified with various anthropogenic activities such as habitat destruction, over-exploitation of natural resources, pollution, climate change, introducing exotic organisms. So these anthropogenic activities, particularly invasive species, cause irreversible changes and affect the ecosystem service and functions. Here, I am going to share our own research experience how invasive species cause the negative impact of these ecosystem services. For the provisioning service, I am going to share our research experience on the impact of Pterygopiletes pardalis invasion on edible fish population at the local wetland ecosystem. For regulating service, I am going to share our research experience on the impact of invasive alien plants on native pollinator interaction network in an ecosystem. So for supporting services, I am going to share our research on exotic plant protoplantinators have indirect impact on the primary productivities of crab plants in agroecosystems. And finally, then for cultural service, I'm going to share the impact of online trade of aesthetic exotic organism. Yeah, food costs all other ecosystem services. So let's see one by one. First part is impact of Pterygopiletes pardalis invasion on edible fish population at local ecosystem. So Pterygopiletes is commonly known as sucker-mouth armed catfish. It belongs to the family Lodicardiae and widely used as a tank cleaner in aquariums. The native range of this species is the tropical America and the Amazon River basin. Now it have become invasive in tropical, subtropical, and warm water region around the world. So in India, the Pterygopiletes, there are the 4 species has been invaded in freshwater ecosystem in various parts of Tamil Nadu, such as Bihar, Kerala, West Bengal, Andhra Pradesh. In Tamil Nadu, our team made extensive field visit and Pterygopiletes pardalis has invaded in Mandiur Lake at Madurai, Tamil Nadu. So the aquarium trade could be an important pathway for its invasion. So this slide shows the characteristic features of some biological traits of Pterygopiletes. It's have a high fecundity traits and broad physiological tolerance, the rapid growth of 10 centimeters per year, and having a powerful pectoral spines, lifespan is about more than 5 years, and high aquarium vector the probable pressures. These are all the traits it can, with these traits this species can be able to invade many regions. So this slide shows the study site description. So this photograph is explaining the mesotropic lake is located in some area of Madurai city. So the total surface area is 231 around hectares, ranging from 2 to 12 meters. Nearly 160 water spread area of this lake is mainly used for commercial culture. Now by Terribilis ordalis. This species is non-edible species. Let's see the impact of this species on Terribilis population on the next slide. This table represents the data for the abundance and biomass of Terribilis ordalis in relation to other edible species. Abundance and biomass of Terribilis ordalis estimate of fish catches from all the studies is quite varied. However, it occurs consistently all the days, and the quantity to exceed all over the edible fish. When compared to all over the edible fish, the quantity exceed more. For instance, 2 done against 7 kg of edible fish during the last catch of February 20th. So this plot diagram clearly shows that abundance and biomass production of Terribilis ordalis as well as edible fish populations. So the abundance of Terribilis ordalis was found to be higher when compared to edible fish population, but there is no any significant difference was observed between the edible fish and the Terribilis ordalis. Whereas in the case of biomass, the same result was obtained. The biomass was found to be higher in Terribilis ordalis compared to edible population. It is significant between production of edible fish. So this plot diagram clearly represents that the negative impact of this species on fish culture in diminishing the production of edible fish population. So this table quantitative data on the growth and reproductive parameter of Terribilis ordalis. The mean body length and the wet weight of Terribilis ordalis sampled from studies range from 9.88 to and the body weight is around 553 respectively. We recorded the maximum 52 centimeter length and 1075 kg. So the body length is positively and significantly correlated with the body weights. So the analysis and the mean and the range of fecundity. Look at this, the fecundity average is 2,963. So the lowest range is from 2,406 from 3,501. So it's clear that it is a common and heavy probable pressure extended by this invasive fish on community of edible fish in the studied lake. So this is some pictorial evidence. So in field level, we have collected egg and also samples and the content and remove the egg chamber and count the number of eggs. So this table, this slide shows the reproductive behavior of ordalis. So the male, usually look at this, this is the overview of the burrows constructed by the male species. So this is the close-up view. The male construct the horizontal burrows in the bank. The average density per meter is 5 meter is 19.5. And
sorry for the interruption. Your PPT is not visible.
Yeah, okay. What about other participants? Please, admin, kindly add these issues.
No, you go to present. You go to present. You represent your slideshow.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was done by me, okay? No,
Yeah,
need
okay.
to. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Then average burrows length is around 138 centimeters. The burrows are usually the burrows used for nesting tunnel purpose, and egg are guarded by male population and those. So this slide clearly shows that the cut control analysis of ordalis. So this species mainly feed benthic, almost 50% of that was occupied by this algae, followed by detritus, other plant matters, and finally some animal matters are also observed in the content. Around the percentage is 10. So it's clearly represent that this species is compete with the food population. So this is some photographical evidence. After fishing activities, the fishermen spend more than 2 to 4 hours to remove the Terciophyllus pardalis fish population from the net. So due to powerful pectoral spine, its species create some damage in the net, and also it also affect the edible fish population due to the vigorous movement while fish catching. So once the population is affected, that species are not ready for shed. Simply they discard on the source of the ecosystem. At the same time, this species also non-edible population. This also simply throw on the bank of the pond ecosystem. So look at this. So where it is not even eat by a piscivorous birds and carnivorous. So you may not believe this. It can able to survive. It can able to survive up to 30 hours out of water. So this is quite amazing. So once the abundance was exceed, simply the fishermen bundled them into the polythene pack and kept on the shorelines of the pond ecosystem. So this slide clearly shows that the mass eradication of Terciophyllus pardalis at the local ecosystem. About more than 10 to 15 volunteers are involved in eradicating fish population, and even though the small size spore net is also employed by them to catch even the juvenile population of Terciophyllus pardalis. So look at this, the biomass it was captured by this period. At the same time, they are also catching some edible fish. This edible fish is around 70 kg against the 2 tons of Terciophyllus pardalis during the mass eradication of Terciophyllus pardalis of the ecosystem. So they are simply collected and discarded on the shoreline of the pond ecosystem. Look at this, while handling this species can be able to secrete some chemicals. That chemical cause some irritation and some other skin problems. That's why that species we cannot consume as edible fish. So these activities are failed to curtail the population of Terciophyllus pardalis from the lake. Therefore, the invasive species were able to maintain its population in successive years during the rain season, where the lessee were the victimized to abandon these pond lease. So this slide clearly represents that impact of Terciophyllus pardalis on protein source of poor people at various local wetland ecosystem Tamil Nadu. So still some of the poor people sources, but after based on this species, the protein source of the poor people is very highly affected. So summary of this work, the abundance of edible fish population and the biomass was found to be higher in Terciophyllus pardalis than the other edible fish population. But there are the statistical significant difference between them is biomass production, but there is no significant difference was observed in abundance. It clearly shows the impact of this species on fish culture in terms of diminishing the production of edible fish population. So the mean and the range values of fecundity is around 2,963, and the lowest range is 2,406 to 3,501 respectively. This implies a constant and heavy propagated pressure exerted by this invasive species on community of edible fish population in this lake. So the main feeding is benthic algae, almost the percentage is 52, followed by detritus and other plant matters and animal matters. It clearly shows that it's compete with the food web of the edible fish population. The mass eradication activities were failed to curtail the population of Terciophyllus pardalis from this lake. But the consequence years, the same population was maintained during the next rainy season, whereas the lessee was victimized to abandon his pond lease. Based on our result, we concluded that the invasion of Terciophyllus pardalis have a huge impact on provisioning service of wetland ecosystem at various. We have a couple of publications. One is from Current Science, and paper is published in international journals of scientific research and reviews. The part 2 is impact of invasive alien plant invasion on native plant pollinator interaction in an ecosystem. So there are 6 major hypotheses in biological invasion to explain the invasive succession of exotic species in an introduced range. So they are biotic resistance hypothesis, island susceptibility hypothesis, hypothesis, novel weapon hypothesis, energy released hypothesis, and tensor. So the early studies reported that these six major hypotheses was strongly support the success of invasiveness in the introduced range. But recent studies clearly represent that this all six major hypotheses does not support as much early report. Therefore, we went to come across this research paper and we have a report and then we have a research posting. Apart from this, some other factors have influenced the success of invasive in the introduced range. So our professor, S. Chandra sir, asked us to go to the field visit and collect the data regarding other than these six major hypotheses. And our team made an extensive field survey of various places in Tamil Nadu and came to know that most of the large invasive species plants are characterized by flower color polymorphism and multi-seasonal flowering. Then we have a question. If these two traits have any role in invasiveness in plant, then hypothesis idea that plant species with flower color polymorphism and multi-seasonality in flowers have a higher potential for the biological success in the introduced range. For this hypothesis, we have collected the data. Almost 311 invasive species were collected from global invasive database. So out of 311 species, the 263 species with sufficient information on the flower color and seasonality were considered for the further studies. Also, we have collected the 300 randomly selected plants from flora of Tamil Nadu, Karnataka. It is for regional floral comparison. And another 300 randomly selected plant species were collected from plant trait database. It is for the global floral comparison. So we are considered separately for the comparison phenological trait with our invasive plant species. So based on our collected data, we are categorized into four main types. One is multi-seasonal flowering with flower color polymorphism. It denotes MP. Multi-seasonal flowering with single flower color morph. It denotes MS. And single flowering with flower color polymorphism. It denotes SP. And seasonal flowering with single morph. It denotes SS. So results clearly shows that the result of our analysis shows that the percentage of plant species in multi-seasonal polymorphism and multi-seasonal single morph is comparatively high in invasive species than the other randomly selected plant species. Likewise, the percentage of the single season polymorphism and single morphism plant species was found to be higher in randomly selected plants than the invasive species. So the statistic analysis revealed that invasive species showed significant difference. So the invasive species showed the significant difference with the traits of MP, SP, SS categories when compared to both regional and randomly selected plants and regionally selected plants. Multi-seasonal flowering with a single color polymorphism. Multi-seasonal flowering with a single color polymorphism is not statistically different. Overall analysis of phenological revealed that the invasive species differ significantly from both randomly and global selected plant species. So this bar diagram clearly represented that the regional level randomly selected data, the percentage of the species which possess single flowering color morph is around 57% was observed in randomly selected plant species. Look at this, the multi-season flowering, almost 94% of invasive species having multi-seasonal flowering, and 62%, almost 62% of the species exhibit flower color polymorphism. So then this slide shows the impact of invasive alien plant invasion on native plant pollinator interaction and ecosystem. So this invasive species have a special traits to overcome the pollinator interactions. First one is flower attractiveness. What is flower attractiveness? The alien plants have a sweet scent and showing flowers. that make them highly attractive to pollinator. But native plants cannot do that. As a result, it attract only lower pollination. So this is why it can able to their population higher in the inverted region than native species. And the second one is flower morphology. It is otherwise called flower mimics. So their similarity in flower morphology with the native enabled them to conquer the pollinator. It is one of the traits to overcome to inhibit the native pollinator interaction in the inverted ecosystem. And the third one is population size and density. Invasive species usually occurred as a dense or large population or community in an introduced range. As a result, this it increased resistance rate to success and plant fitness. Be a indirect competition advantage when interacting pollinator. Both one is generalist or specialization. So pollination generalist alien species are more likely to attract one is flower color pollinator seasonality. To speed interaction in the industry. So this is overall summary from this study. And phenological characters of flower to attract more pollinator than the invasive species. So it maintained the pollinator reward throughout the year. On the native interact network. So this work was published in current science. The title is Influence of Flower Color and Seasonality on Plant Success. Part 3, I'm going to share the exotic plant croton species have in crab plants in agro ecosystem. So as I said, already discussed in chapter, there is enemy hypothesis, right? So what is enemy release hypothesis? Invasive species succeed because they however sorry, however exotic species invasive due to acute new enemy in the induced range of time. This is called increased accessibility hypothesis. Exotic enemies in introduced range due to have colonized a large area or the longer habitational period. Invasion failure in a new range can be absorbed population in the inverted ranges. So in another cases, some exotic species can be able to naturalize, but cannot able to spread their ecosystem. Here I show one of the example like that. One plant name is commonly belongs to family Euphorbiaceae. It was accidentally in temperate South America and India in 1897. Even though species have naturalized in introduced range, invasive due to acute new enemies of this species have been absorbed more pathogen load, particularly viral infection in name of research cost. Whether this viral infection barrier for the invasives of this species or it promote the invasion to promote naturalized population into the invasion. So for that we have framed our conceptual work. This is the native range. This is right. That species can introduce without the predator into a new range. That is called the enemy release hypothesis. The invader has established their population to introduce range that is called naturalization. So naturalized the many ecosystems. After naturalized their population, it needs to become it cannot able to become invasive. Why? Because a new enemy arises in the introduced range, like a vector. That vector can be able to spread disease like viral diseases. So like spread viral diseases. Whether this viral disease is promote or reduce the further almost the natural ecosystem and road ecosystem, agricultural land, auto cultivable land. So the average population of this was studied at all the ecosystem and came to know that the pond ecosystem was described than the other ecosystem. Average population can be categorized observed higher in agricultural ecosystem, whereas it was infected population was found to be very low in ponded ecosystem. This bar diagram clearly represents data for the data for the percentage of healthy and the viral infection of plant protein studied species and different ecosystem. The percentage of healthy plant was found to be higher in roadside. So roadside, look at this, almost 92.4 healthy, whereas the healthy population was found to be very low in agricultural ecosystem. Whereas the infected population around 78.06% was observed higher in agricultural land, then followed by the, and it was very low observed roadside ecosystems. So this table shows the seed viability, healthy and infected important species at different. The seed viability just clearly shows that the viral have strongly influenced the of this one plant species. The seed viability was recorded higher in healthy plant when seed abundance was found to be higher in infected plant, almost 20 plus or minus, Einstein like healthy plant 1.33 plus or minus 1.45. So this bar diagram clearly represented the percentage of seed viability in both the. So the percentage of seed viability was observed higher in healthy population. Infected, that means the seed abundant was found to be higher in infected population than the healthy population. So, and also we have measured the chlorophyll content, like chlorophyll will be and the total chlorophyll content. We have measured the carbohydrate content of the studied species. So, in all the parameters, the healthy, like in the chlorophyll A, B, and the chlorophyll content and the total carbohydrate was found to be higher in healthy and compared to infected plant species. It clearly shows that viral infections have a huge impact on the primary production of these studied species. Again, we need to identify the viral species in the infected plants, and for that we have collected the DNA by using a CTAP method from infected plant species. So the thick around 20,000 base pair size below the gel has been observed. The isolated samples contain good quality of genomic DNA, but the genomic DNA obtained is not only corresponding to the plant DNA; it also contains some endophytic microorganisms. So isolated plant genomic DNA was subjected to rolled PCR amplification using X primer with standardized reaction condition. And the thick band size are almost 1,000 base pair was observed, and it suggested that observed band could be a contamer of the viral DNA present in the total genomic DNA of this one. This RCA, the rolling PCR product was subjected to separate distinct digestion enzymes like KIND3 digestion and the SS digestions. So in the lane 2, the across gel, the two short band were observed in which the top band size is around 20,000, correspond to the total viral DNA container, and the adjacent band size is nearly 3,000 base pairs. In lane 3, in addition to that, the two bands observed in lane 2, more band were 3, around 1,500, corresponding the undigested RC, the uncut viral DNA container size of 200 G. Then the digested RC with the elute, and then it was cloned to PO competent cells. So in 2, agro cell slighted band rated correspond to the size is 0.7 kb fragment clone. So the bands 1 base pair clones. The elute and purified the 2.7 kb base pair and 1.3 fragment clones were subjected to various restriction enzymes using the enzymes. In lane 1 to 4, short bands were observed in which the lane and the correspond to the uncut 1 and 3 is correspond to the band size is around to 2.7 kb base per clone. Likewise, the len 8 kilo base per fragment. Whilst the len of 6 and 7 represent the fragment resulted the digestion of these enzymes respectively. So our results are 2.7 and 3.1 kb base per to sequence. After getting the results from the graphical summary shows that the top 130 blast hits for the viral DNA sequence correspond to the infected virus of croton contaminators on other infected plant virus sequence available in the NC database. So our results is clearly, these slides clearly our species are highly identified with almost 86.36% with the chili leaf curve Indian alpha satellite clones. That is the completely sequence. So this is the complete pairwise alignment pictures queries with the high similar subset queries that is called the KF47103.1 length. Identity percentage is 86. So with this our sequence, we construct the phylogenetic tree and came to know that our species was closely associated with the chili leaf curve Indian and also the top satellite homes. So this invasive species pathogen response for various crop diseases like chili leaf curve and leaf curve. So these studies, these studies species were naturalized their ecosystem like land ecosystem, macro ecosystem, was complete this species. The percentage of infected population in macro ecosystem most is 78.0% are completely population. It is clearly represented from the infected population once the agro ecosystem was cultivated by some of the plants, the species act as the primary inoculum for the spreading of disease from these plants observed higher in healthy plants than the infected plants. The percentage of the seed abundant was found to be higher in the infected plants than the healthy plants. Like the chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, total chlorophyll content and the carbohydrate were also found to be higher in healthy plants when compared to infected plants. As a result, we concluded that the viral infection plays a crucial role on the impact of primary production and also it acts as the barrier for the invasion success of that studied species. Based on the past results of phylogenetic tree construction, it has been concluded that the studied virus infected in croton contaminators could be belongs to chili curve leaf. And so from the study, we concluded that this infection acts as a barrier for these invasion species in the introduced trade. At the same time, this species acts as a barrier for the various crop species. Due to the effect of this species inverted in the ecosystem, when it cultivated the crop species, it acts as the primary inoculum. From that, the primary production of the crop species was infected. So this interactions was how it happened so explained by next session Professor Gopal Sir from Madurai Kamaraj University. He is going to deliver a lecture on how the plant virus impact on the primary production of agro ecosystem. So this is the last part. Impact of online trade of aesthetic exotic organism, a root cause for altering various ecosystem services. So, as I said earlier, there are two types of pathways, one is internal and unintentional pathway. This online trade is coming under intentional pathway. In donation, what pet do you have? Okay, generally we have dogs, love parrots, and fishes. Some other kind of species have as a pet animal. So look at this. So this is the best pet animal in some of the countries, and also the red belly salamander is also used as the pet animal in some other countries. And hedgehogs, this is the hedgehogs, so used as a pet animal. And the flower horn, as usually we maybe see this one in our countries, the flower horn fishes. You may not believe that the python is pet animal cultivated in some other places. Play with this python is quite dangerous. And the last one picture shows the marmoset. It is the smallest monkey. This monkey is used as pet in some other countries. So then now it is the very pathogenic condition. These all are available in our nation through online mode. So then we prepare this research and we start pet shop and aquarium state-wise using Google search and web directories and classified the data. The total number of small pets, animal, and birds at aquarium and aquarium were listed. The field visit also carried out at local commerce and pet shops. The invasion episodes of ornamental pets throughout the world was collected from ISSG. So this diagram, this is our overview of online shop available in India. Almost the 11 states have employed the online shop to selling exotic species in India. And for ornamental fishes, the 21 shops were found selling exotic freshwater and marine fishes in online. Almost 910 varieties of nearly 78 fish species were found available. In freshwater fishes like cichlid fishes, angelfish, and goldfish are most commonly available in all the shops. In marine water fishes, the sea anemones, starfish, crabs, shrimps, eels are also sold in some online shops. Some carnivorous fish like arowana, flowerhorn, lionfish are very popular among the hobbyists. The fish were sold from 10 to 1000 lakh rupees. You cannot believe that this arowana fish and they are selling up to lakh rupees. Even though some people are buying this. So this block diagram clearly represents data for the freshwater fishes. It shows that the number of varieties of freshwater fish sold through online trade. Among that, the platy and molly sold more number of varieties is selling through online trade. This is for marine water fishes. Likewise, dam fish and angel fish sold the number of varieties was higher than the other fishes available in online trades. So based on the selling, this table clearly shows the rank list based on the availability of fishes. So look at this for freshwater. Among totally the 17 shop were surveyed. Out of 17, the 15 shop has selling the cichlid species. Cichlids, its rank rates and it's coming under rank 1. For marine organism, totally 18 shops were surveyed. Out of 18 shops, they are selling butterfly fishes. So based on clearly shows that. So this is some pictorial evidence available in online shops. The A1 is clown pieces and line. This is the line piece and the lipstick young pieces. This is the arowana piece. It is selling up to lakh pieces, and the flower horn pieces and butterfly pieces. So and also we are also collect aquatic plant on online stores and categorized into 6. So the number of species was the online. So the totally 12 shops were found selling aquatic plants in online, and the aquatic plants are categorized into stem plants, 4 grounded plants, rhizome, mosses, bulbs, and floating plants. 62 exotic ornamental aquatic plant species were found available in the online shops. Among that, the stem plants showed more number of species, followed by 4 plants, rhizomes, liverworts, pond lilies, and the floating plants. So these are some pictorial evidence: Nymphaceae odorata and Icarnia diversifolia. These are all some pictorial evidence what we have collected from the net online shops. So the some exotic pets are also available in online. Totally, the 11 shops were found to selling exotics online. 13 exotic small animal pets were being sold out. Among 13 exotic species, rabbit and hamster were commonly sold out. Several uncommon pets like iguana, red belly salamander, hedgehog were also sold out. Total 27 bird species were available, and lovebirds, pigeons, and parrot were also commonly available on online shops for exotic selling small animal pets. So this table clearly represents that the hedgehogs and iguana already invaded status in some other status. Now in India, not happened now, but it will happen in future. So please think youngers and researchers and scientists, please avoid online mode of buying online mode by exotic species. So some of the pictorial evidence I have shown here. This is the marmoset monkey. Then this is Chinese hamster and Angora rabbit and foxtail crickets. And also we have made some field visit to the local fish aquarium farms. They maintain in open cement tank and it has open outlet ends into the small channels and connected to the main drainage canal. The exotic fish like goldfish and black mollies were observed in these canals. High risk of fish escaping into the channel even by moderate rain itself. The exotic plants and aquatic plants, birds and pet animals were also sold out. No proper measures are adopted to prevent the exotic from the escaping. So these are some pictures taken from the local farms. Look at this. This is the fish. It was absorbed in canals. Even in a moderate rain, it can easily escape from the aquarium into the main sheep stand. There is a high probable pressure for the escape of this into plants. So in our chapter 1, we have discussed the report. We are also observed the same one, and as a direct evidence, the pet is being suppressed. So this slide clearly shows that the various invasion episodes of ornamental pets throughout the world, which was collected from ISSG. Totally the number of species, almost 37 plant species was introduced, and likewise the fish, pet animals, and bear are also of countries through online trade. So overall summary of this: online trading a potent vector for the species introduction. Existing report about the exotic fish in Indian river like Tertipulitis pardalis. Our catch report also indicate that a recent invasion episode at our local ecosystem. Even the small pet animals like iguana and hedgehogs already reported in other countries as invasive species. There is but not now it is not reported as invasive species in India, but it may be maybe that two species, if once the species can be able to invade the ecosystem, definitely two species to become invasive and cause various ecological impact on the services. Aesthetic exotic may act as the main driver to ecosystem and altering the various ecosystem services such as provisioning service, regulating service, and supporting services. So this work was published in a current science as an online trade as aesthetic exotic organism as a score of the models. So this is my overall summary of my talk. So the provisional service is kindly altered by the impact of Tertipulitis pardalis invasion on local ecosystem. Likewise, the regulating service is highly altered by the invasive alien plant invasion on pollination network process of regulating service of ecosystem. The exotic plant growth and species act as pathogen reservoir, which might be a main source as a primary inoculum viral pathogen to the crop species. And online trade acts as the potent vector for the species interaction. It may alter the various services. In this study, we recommended that based on our research, suggest the essential steps to manage invasive alien species in our local ecosystem. The first one is need for National Rescue Department to monitoring invasive alien species. Need specific institutions and department at Panchayat level in all districts to monitoring the IAS. And the third need for free helpline number for informing the infestation of the new invasive species in an ecosystem. And need for creating the awareness to the local people through conducting programs, seminars, and the conferences, forum about the invasive species. Fifth one is the school and college student must be enlightened by the teaching about the impact of biological invasion at school level, which include must be in syllabus. And the sixth one is need for reorganizing national volunteers services such as NSS and NCC for involving in the eradication program. And the last one is need for making a thematic short movies about ecological problem caused by the invasive species and public and telecast in television channels. So this is our invasion ecology research team. He is Mr. Sounder. He is working on plant invasion microbe interaction. He is Mr. Anbusor. He is working on plant invasion modeling. And he is Mohan. He is working on aquatic invasive fish at freshwater ecosystem. And he is Dr. P. Manikandan, working on landscape ecology and plant animal interaction. He's Mr. in working on pollinator interaction, and he's Dr. Sanan. He is working on honeybee bees life at urban ecosystem, and he is Mr. Parthivan. He is currently working on trade of exotic organism. I would like to thank all my research team to carry out this research as a team. Thank you so much. Finally, I acknowledgement. I would like to thank Dr. Ramesh, the convener of the webinar series of Ecosystem Studies and Management. I express my sincere thanks to Dr. Jothi, Basu, organizing secretary, for giving this opportunity to share our research finding through this webinar series on ecosystem studies and management. So if we don't clear invasive species early today, but after 20 to 40 years, we cannot remove that invasive species from the ecosystem. So thank you. So any questions or further information or queries, please contact me at kamal.dasan@gmail.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your wonderful presentation. Sir?
Participants, please put the questions through chat box.
Live participants for your comments in the Google Meet to the presenter Dr. N. Kamaladasan, and also attendance link in the description box of the video. If you are using the desktop YouTube page, you just refresh your page. If you are using your mobile phone as your device for viewing a YouTube, you just close the video and come back to the same video where you will get a day 2 attendance link. Thanks a lot.
And this,
Survival of the fittest.
yeah, it's commonly survival of the fittest. Yeah.
Okay, sir. One more question. Yes, sir. Is there any gene expression difference to be more competitive and invasive? Explain for and invasive species.
Yeah, in general, elevation that species can be able to adapt themselves, right? So definitely some species plays a vital role in that adaptive mechanism, but we are not concentrating to work on that. But there are definitely some species involved in that to become invasive species. But we'll send some reference to
The aliens is high number of pollinators.
yeah, for example, the flower and yes technology throughout the year and nectar the nectar is brought to the native pollinator. As a result, it attracts the native pollinator and it, with the help of this native pollinator, they establish their own population through pollination process.
One more announcement. Our technical team, please post attendance it at YouTube channel. Okay. Please note that you have to put attendance link for day 2 at YouTube channel, and there is posted in chat box of Google Meet. Or any trade of exotic species is allowed when it is known it could turn into a invasive.
Yeah, our nation already have some of the laws for preventing the exotic organism into our nation. But even though it was happening, that's why we have posting. We have that's why I'm recommended we need to separate monitoring team is very essential for the introduction to
Invasive species.
yeah.
Every alien.
No. That's why I'm saying some species introduced from the natural habitat that is called only exo. That then only we can call as invasive species. Otherwise, that species we can call as alien or exotic species.
And one more thing, invasives always harm to the however ecosystem services. Then will it to be removed or to be avoided, or we will keep that invasive species in the ecosystem?
I answer for that question. So thank you for a good question. So for example, the Prosopis juliflora, right? That species is highly dominated in Raman. So that empty niche hypothesis, it's coming under invasion biology. There is one hypothesis that is called the empty niche hypothesis. That in the habitat, in the sense, no other species cannot occupy that species. So in that region, the Prosopis juliflora can occupy that empty niche and plays a vital role on carbon sequestration. It reduces the carbon dioxide level at our carbon, Ramanatha. Need to eliminate, because if you eliminate the sense the carbon dioxide, so it interact effect on the native plant, change the climate change. It also influences the native pollinator also. So as per our suggestion, based on the habitat, we need to determine whether the species should be removed or not.
Okay. So what is the chemical secreted from that invasive species? Could you name that chemical?
Yeah, some of the allylochemicals like phenol compounds are the allylochemicals. It's secreted by some of the invasive species, which help with the help of that allylochemicals, it suppress the native plant species and inhibit the.
About the fish invasive
Yeah,
species.
yeah.
It will interact with other animal partner there in the wetland ecosystem, that chemical.
No, so Mr. Mohan is working on that. We didn't get any significant out this research, sir. After that only, I will
Okay.
telling that.
Okay. What is the role of croton in keeping viral infection with it?
So that viral population inhibit the invasiveness of that plant. At the same time, that infected population also act as the pathogen for the most of the aquatic crab species. So it may be it acts as the primary inoculum for the plant species. From that, the disease transfer from the crab species, and the primary production of crab species is highly affected by this species. So any other question?
So that is one question, sir.
Yeah.
Is there any measures to evaluate harmful effect of invasive species, especially in plants?
Pardon?
Is there any measures to evaluate the harmful effect of invasive species, especially in plants?
Yeah, that's why we by coordinate method we can measure the density of the invasive species and the native species. Density of invasive species and native species, we can to conclude that whether the invasive density is going to be higher, in the sense it highly suppress the growth of native species population. So we need to take two concepts. One is uninvaded ecosystem and invaded ecosystem. Two equal from the ecosystem, we need to put coordinate 1 meter and collect the plant species density and analyze that, and came to that invasive species the invaded site having more invasive density and compared to ecosystem. The native population density was found to be higher in the invaded ecosystem. So through that method, we quantify that for the plants.
I questions was over because I read the concluding remarks. I hand over this.
Sir, as per the secretary, we have copied the link. Participants ask feedback form, sir. So what?
Yeah, that will be supplied tomorrow. That will be supplied by tomorrow. Feedback forms will be supplied by tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow also we are having session. That's why. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir, convener, sir.
Okay. Another wonderful presentation by Kamal Dasan.
Thank you, sir.
Again, as I mentioned yesterday, only very far working area of the nature of congratulations once again to Kamal Dasan.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. And the final session of the webinar will start tomorrow 10:30. And the first come first serve, we are allowing the and many participants does not got link inside the Google Meet, and we arrange for YouTube live stream also. If somebody is not able to connect with it, please advise them to join with live channel. There also you put your attendance, and also you can get your participation certificate. Thank you one and all for your kind cooperation. Thank you for the part. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So just one question, sir. Actually, I believe because today and tomorrow is the series what I registered for.
Hello. Hello. Who is
Sorry, enable your. Sorry.
Sir, hello.
Ma'am,
So today I signed in.
No. You have to talk. You have to contact the organizing committee. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, dear participants, for being connected with us in this YouTube live streaming program on webinar series on ecosystem services and management. I hope you have enjoyed this streaming today, and sorry for the inconvenience that has been happened yesterday. And today, all of them have been recovered and rectified, and you have seen it. And we hopefully looking forward your attendance in tomorrow's webinar also. Tomorrow webinar also will be started by 10 a.m. sharply at YouTube live streaming. You can directly come to the YouTube live streaming using the channel. You can subscribe the channel so that you can able to get the notification prior to the so thank you so much for your participation, and you have raised many questions through Google YouTube live streaming. I hope we could not able to ask many questions to the guest speaker, but we have chosen the random question that has been displayed in the YouTube live streaming, and I hope that you will continue your support towards us also. Thank you for your patience, and thank you so much. Stay tuned for tomorrow's program. Thank you.